All right, there are the right answers. I will shrink it down a little bit. Do not bother copying down the right answers if you did not do it. It has been recorded. Yes. Which? This one? This D right here? Yep. So factor everywhere, yeah? So you're going to get 2p plus minus 3 is got to be negative 6, right? And so it's got to be negative 1 plus 6. So it's going to be so 2p minus 1 and p plus 3 over 2. No, sorry. 2p minus 3 there. Just let me make sure. 2p squared, 6p minus 1p is 5p minus 3. Yep. Times p plus 1, p minus 1 over take out a 3, 2p minus 1 times 2p minus 3 over p minus p plus 3 p minus 1. And then cancel everywhere you can, right? So 2p minus 3 gone, p minus 1 gone, p plus 3 gone, 2p minus 1, 2p minus 1 gone. What's left? P plus 1 over 3. Okay. None of these on the bottom are allowed to be 0. So 2p minus 3 can't equal 0. So 2p can't equal 3, so p can't equal 3 over 2. This one, 2p minus 1 can't equal 0. 2p can't equal 1, p can't equal 1/2. And here, p plus 3 can't equal 0, so p can't equal negative 3. P minus 1 can't equal 0, so p can't equal 1. Okay? Yes. Which? For this first one? Okay. What happens to 5c and 15c?
Is 5c D does not.
Well, you can factor out the 5c, the c's cancel, and 15 and 5 becomes 3 and just 1f, right? 4 goes away, the 12 becomes a 3, right? And the one of the m's goes away, and that m goes away. 3 times 3 is 9, and up on top, all that was left was an m. Okay? Megan. This one. Okay. What part of it? Because it's exactly the same as all the other ones. So if you got any other one, the mistake you made wasn't in the question. It was in somewhere in your factoring or canceling. So this top one, I'll get rid of this over here. So 4z minus 25 is 2z plus 5, 2z minus 5, over 20, 40, negative 8, negative 5, z minus 4, and 2z minus 5 times z minus 4 over, take out a 2, z plus 5. Then cancel, z minus 4, z minus 4. 2z minus 5, 2z minus 5. 2z plus 5, 2z plus 5. What's left? A 2 in the denominator. So it has to be 1/2. 1 over 2. Because if it's 0 over 2, then that whole answer is 0. Right? Okay. Again, the problem here is not with your ability to do this work. The problem here is with your ability to factor from 3 units ago and last year, yes? Factor, factor, factor. Cancel, cancel, cancel. The only thing new that we have done this unit is introduce restrictions, right? So really, the only question anybody should have right now is, how do I find a restriction? And the restrictions, all the denominators are never allowed to be 0. So whatever is on the denominator, you get to that point, and then you do algebra. But instead of x plus 3, 2x minus 7, instead of it equaling 0, which is what we normally do, we don't want it to equal 0. But you do the same algebra. Okay? That's the only thing new we've done this whole unit so far. It just looks ugly because up until now, I would have asked you to only, like the end of the question would have been factoring that, right? That was all we did. That's all you ever did in factoring. And that's the mistake that we make with math in all of your school. You learn something in grade 3, and then you don't touch it again until grade 8. And then you don't touch it again until grade 10. And you're expected to remember all that, yes? Right? You learn Pythagoras in grade 7, and then you don't do trig till grade 10. Wouldn't it have made sense to start in on trig right away when you're dealing with triangles? Right? So, everybody good? I hope you are all going to say yes, because what we're going to do now, again, isn't new, but it's even more complex than this. Not complicated, but complex. Is everybody okay? All the answers are recorded. You can go back and double check and make sure. Yo. Sorry? We'll do the last few minutes of the block. That way. Yes. Which one? I'm sorry. B. Right here. Okay. Well, none of this, or this is allowed to be 0, right? Because you're going to flip that over, yeah? So it can't be, V can't be 0, obviously. So when you factor that out, the top one right there, you're going to end up with V plus 3 and V minus 5, right? That's not allowed to be 0. So V plus 3 can't be 0, because if V plus 3 was 0, then whatever this was, it would be 0, right? Should be negative 3 and 5. What did I write? I backwards did. Sorry. Thank you. That's funny because I have it right over here on the work I did already. And then I screwed it up bringing it over to here. Good thing we're still recording. So it's fixed. Okay, we're good? All right. Turn the page over, please. Now, you guys are smart kids, yes? Yes, you are. Are fractions rational expressions? Yes. Do you know how to add and subtract fractions? Don't tell me you can or can't do it. That isn't what I asked. Do you know how to add and subtract fractions? What would you have to do to add 2 fractions? What do you have to ensure? Common denominator. So, add and subtract rational fractions in the same way as we add and subtract fractions. Now, here's the thing. You guys have done this so much that you have something, you work in your heads. You don't believe you work in your heads, but you do. We're going to start with something real simple. 2/3 plus 3/5. If you were going to add that, what would you need? A common denominator. And what would it be? 15. You automatically know it's 15. You don't think about it. You know it's 15. But how did you know it was 15? What did you do to know that it was 15? You did a lowest common multiple. Is there a shortcut to finding a lowest common denominator when you have numbers like this? What is it? You can just multiply them together, yes? Everybody knows that, yes? You know it so well that some of you do it automatically. And it's not necessarily the lowest common denominator that it gives you, but it will still work, doesn't it? Right? So the first thing you guys do is you go to 15. And how did you know it was 15? You are allowed to multiply it together. Multiply your two originals. What if I had 3? Could I multiply all 3 of them? Would it still work? Yeah, of course it would. So everybody knows this will work, yes? Right? So now my new denominator is 15. Now you automatically, by this point in your life, know that that's going to make that 10, yes? And that's going to make that 9, yes? Why do you know that? What did you do to know that that was 10 and that was 9? Whatever you do at the bottom, you got to do the top. So to make the 3 15, I had to times by 5. So what do I have to do to the 2? Multiply by 5 to get 10. To make the 5 15, I had to multiply by 3. What did I have to do to the 3? Same thing to get 9. And my answer becomes 19/15. Yes? Right? Everybody can do this in their sleep, yeah? All right. So what do you think is different when we turn it into rational expressions? Well, what's the first thing we should do with every rational expression we see? Simplify it or factor it, right? So do you think that changes here? Of course not. So step 1 is always going to be to factor, if we can. Right? What will step 2 be once it's as simple as possible? If I want to add 2 of these things together, what am I going to need? A common denominator. Now, what was our shortcut to finding a common denominator back in grade 3 and 4 when it was just this? What did we do? We multiplied them together. So what do you think we should do in grade 11 when it's actually complicated? When it was 3 and 5, we multiplied it at 15, no problem. So what should we do here? If it works once in math, how often will it work? So can we multiply our denominators together here? Sure. Common denominator. How? Multiply them. But there's a catch here. Okay? Don't expand. And I'm going to show you what I mean in a minute. You just put them together. And you'll see why in a second. And the third thing is the same thing we do when we multiply, or it's the same thing as we do when we add fractions. Once we have a common denominator, what do we have to do to our numerators? Do the numerators change? Right. We have to adjust our numerators. And what do we do to each numerator? We multiply by what? What did we do to our denumerators? What do we do to our numerators here? Right. We multiply by the denominator factor that we need. Denominator factor that we need. So we're going to start real easy here. In question 1, can I subtract those two rational expressions right now? Yes or no? Why, Luke? It's got a same denominator. So this is 2a minus a minus 1 over b, correct? Okay, let's do this math. What is 2a minus a? A. And what is minus 1? Plus 1 over b. Are there any restrictions? Is there any number that I'm not allowed to use here for b or a? 0, because I can't have a 0 on the bottom. So b cannot equal 0. Easy peasy, right? Everybody's good? It's just like regular fractions, yeah? All right, let's look at number 2. Can I do number 2 right now? Why? Common denominator. So this is 2x plus 8 over x plus 4, yes? We happy with that? Now, what should we be doing every time we can in a grade 11 classroom? Factor or simplify? Does any of that factor? What? 2x plus 4 over x plus 4, yes? Now what? So what's my final simplified answer? 2. Is there anything x cannot be? -4. Is everybody good with number 2? Okay, because we added one wrinkle to number 2 that wasn't in number 1. Is everybody still good? All right. What happens in number 3? What's the new wrinkle here? There's 3. Are they common denominators? So can I put them all over x minus 2? Okay, what's the new numerator? What should we do every time we see something that we can simplify? Simplify it. What simplifies there? Numerator or denominator? Numerator. And what does it become? You guys can factor it yourself. I don't need to write that out. I'll wait a moment whilst you factor it. X minus 2, x plus 5 over x minus 2. What do I get to do now? Cancel the x minus 2's, and what's my final answer? Are there any values that x is not allowed to be? +2. Can everybody do the first 3 when the denominators are the same? Going once. Going twice. Going thrice. All right. If you're lying, you're dying. What is different in 4? We don't have a common denominator. Right? So step 1 is do any simplifying we can. Can I do any simplifying anywhere? Is there anything the same on the top and on the bottom? Just like we've done for the past 3 days. Can I simplify anything? Can I not get rid of those x's? All right. So I'm going to rewrite this as 2 over y plus 4 over x squared minus 3 over what? 1. Everybody agree? All right. What's the problem now? So we've taken care of simplifying. That was the first step. We simplified everywhere we could. Now what do I need? Look at your steps. If you don't intuitively know what you were supposed to do now? Look at the steps. The map I gave you to success. What should you be doing now? Common denominator. What's our shortcut to finding common denominator? Multiply them all together. So, my lowest, I'm not going to put lowest common denominator. I'm going to put my common denominator is x squared times y times 1. Yes? Do I care about the 1? So what's my common denominator really? X squared y. Now, back in my first example, when we had to get to 15, right? We multiplied the 3 by 5 and the 2 by, the 2 by 5 and the 3 by 3, right? To get 15. So what is my new denominator here? It's x squared y, right? What does this guy have? Does he have the x squared or the y? He has the y. So what do I need to multiply this guy by to get to here? X squared. So this guy gets the x squared. What does this guy have? He's got the x squared. So what does he need? The y. What does this guy have? Neither. So what does he need? X squared y. Everybody cool? Great. So what is 2 times x squared? 2x squared. Plus, what's 4 times y? 4y. Minus, what's that? 3x squared y. And I'm done. Everybody cool? Because there's no factoring there, right? No common factors. This isn't a trinomial that factors. There's only one other thing I need to do, which is what? Restrictions. What are they? What can't they be? 0. Does everybody see? So now we have put them together, right? We added. We added, factored, and simplified. We added, factored, and simplified. And we found a common denominator. Is there any part of this that we have not done? No. So now what's the next logical step? Putting it all together, right? So let's turn the page over and have a look at number 5. Step 1. Can I add them? Right now. Yes or no? No. So I better factor, yes? Any factoring here? Yes or no? No. Y squared minus 20 stays. Any factoring there? Oh, sorry. Duh, that was a dumb way to do it. Any factoring there? Y plus 2, y minus 2. Yes? Plus any factoring in this whole one? Yes or no? He waited patiently. No. Y minus 2 over y plus 2. Are these a common denominator? Are the denominators the same? This is a yes or no question, guys. You just got to look at it. Yes or no? No. Excellent. This guy's a y plus 2. This guy's a y plus 2, yes? But I also need a y minus 2, right? So, does this guy have everything I need? He does. So, is his numerator going to change? No. So, I know my common denominator has to be y plus 2, y minus 2, right? This guy's already got them both, so his numerator doesn't change. Does this guy have them both? What's this guy have? He's only got the plus 2, right? So what do I need to make this denominator look like this? I got to multiply it by y minus 2, yes? If I multiply the denominator by y minus 2, what must I multiply the numerator by? Y minus 2 plus y squared minus 4y plus 4. Yes?
Oh, so you would expand now.
Yeah. Everybody cool?
I thought you said, didn't you say...
No, we don't expand the denominators. Because if I expand this denominator, then it's tough to see what the common factor is, right? You just led me to my next question, Max. Amazing. I was about to say, why did we expand here but not down here? Because of what I just said. If I leave these in factored form, it's real easy to see that that is what's missing there, isn't it? Everybody cool? All right. So now what do you think we should do up top? What should I do in that numerator? Same thing we do every time I say, what should we do now? I should simplify, shouldn't I? I got a y squared there plus another y squared. How many y squareds do I have? 2 y squareds. Plus negative 4y. Any other y's? No. So minus 4y. And negative 20 plus 4. What's that? Negative 16. Yeah? Over y plus 2. Y minus 2. Now what? No. Factor again. Where? The numerator. What's coming out of there? 2. Y squared minus 2y minus 8 over y plus 2. Y minus 2. Now what? Factor again. Where? Numerator. What's it going to be? There are many steps, but it's all steps that you already know. Factor, 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 factor. It's like when a bunch of doctors meet each other. Doctor, 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 doctor. Except it's factor, 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 factor. Pardon me? Why did I simplify? I took the 2 out there, and then this is going to be y plus what? 4? Y plus 2, y minus 4. Now what? Cancel out the y plus 2's, and what's my final answer? 2, y minus 4, y minus 2. Did I have any restrictions anywhere through there? Right. Y cannot equal plus or minus 2. Now, Sarav has made a valid point. There's a lot of steps to do in this, isn't there? But is any one of those steps something that you didn't know how to do since the 10th grade? The restrictions, and only the restrictions, yes? Otherwise, now think back to grade 10. If you were in my grade 10 class and I gave you a factoring worksheet, there might have been 10 things to factor on it, yes? We just factored 4 things. It's just one question that would have been the same as your grade 10 sheet that had 5 on it. Except you would have done 5 singletons instead of this. What's different about 6? Those denominators are both trinomials, right? What do we know to do when we see a trinomial? Factor it. So what's that first one going to become? Remember when I told you guys you got to get good at factoring? What's this one going to be? X plus 3, x minus 2, correct? Everyone agree?
Yeah.
Okay. What's the next one going to be? X plus 3, x plus 1. Now, you guys are smart kids. Is that the same denominator as that? No, they aren't, are they? But you notice that's the same, right?
Yeah.
So my new denominator must have x minus 3 in it, correct? What else must it have in it? Over here, I needed everything in my denominator, yes? So what do I need over here in my new denominator?
Is it
Okay, again, look at what you already know. This had a plus 2 and a minus 2. This guy already had a plus 2. So I had to give this guy the minus 2, right? And my denominator ended up with everything, yes? So what does my denominator over here need to end up with? I need what? Again, guys, holy. I don't know how to make this easier for you. This denominator had to have all the factors that were on the bottom, yes? So what does this denominator need? All the factors that were on the bottom. What are they all? X plus 3, x minus 2, and x plus 1. That's what I need there, right? What does this guy have? He's got the 3 and the minus 2, right? So what does he need? X plus 1. What does this guy have? The 3 and the 1. So what does he need? The x minus 2. And what do I do then here? I can't cancel it yet. What should I do? I'm going to expand it. X plus 1, x minus 1 gets me x squared minus 1, yes? Right? Okay. Actually, hold up. Let's make this even easier on us. Yep, we can make this easier. How? If I expand this out, collect all my like terms, and factor it, I'm okay, right? Can I make it any easier on myself? No, let's just do that. X squared minus 1 minus, and what's this become?
x squared plus 4?
Minus 4x plus 4, right? Everyone agree? Now what? What do you see right there and there? Why? X squared minus x squared, right? So they're gone. What else do you see? Negative 1 minus 4 is what? Pardon? Negative 5. And what's negative? Negative 4x. 4x minus 5 over what? That denominator. X plus 3, x minus 2, x plus 1. What are my restrictions?
Why would it be 4x instead of minus 4x?
Because we did minus 4x. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Okay, what are my restrictions? X can't be what? -1, -3, and +2. Everybody okay? Everybody okay?
You just leave it there.
Yep. Barf! What is wrong with number 7? What is wrong with number 7?
Fractions. Robot.
Yeah. Fractions in a fraction. Barf! Never! Because once again, I am going to explain to you for the 150 millionth time. If you can see the future, why are you here? Go get a lottery ticket, win the lottery, and stop coming to school and stressing yourself out. You can't see the future. You may decide at 40 that you wish to become a mechanical engineer. No, you don't know that. Or you may wish to decide that you might want to become a nurse. A nurse isn't allowed to be a nurse unless they have a grade 11 math credit. At the very least, you need to know how to do this to get through grade 11 so you can be a nurse or an electrician or whatever. At the very least. Nobody cares about whether or not you can do something in real life. Again, I give you this example. Do you ever cross-country ski to nowhere in real life? Ever? Do you ever go to the gym? Do you see people on an elliptical trainer? What are they doing? Pretending to cross-country ski to nowhere. Do you ever in real life do that? No. You don't cross-country ski to nowhere, Burke. You cross-country ski to somewhere in real life. Okay? Do you ever run to nowhere in real life? Sonia, if a bear is chasing you, does it do you any good to be on a treadmill? No. But people do it. Right? Why do they do it? To train. That's the argument every time. What gets better when you run on a treadmill? Your stamina, your muscles, your heart, all that stuff, right? What's the only part of your body that can't fail? If this part of your body fails, you die. What is it? Your brain. And yet none of you wish to exercise your brain ever.
Is this exercise my brain?
Yes. It's not an argument you want to have with a teacher ever. It's not an argument you should ever have with anyone. The argument you should have is with the politicians who have said that everything needs to be real life, because that's stupid. So back to here. What bothers you about number 7? Fractions in a fraction, yes? What is that verb that I always use in this class? Starts with an S, ends with a Y.
Oh, I know. Simplify.
Simplify. Excellent. So I bet we can simplify this. What is that really? That is 1 plus 1 over x, yeah? Right?
Yes.
What's 1's denominator?
1.
1. Can I add those together? Can I add those together? Why not? Because they don't have a common denominator. What is the common denominator? X. So the common denominator is x. Does this guy already have x? So does this guy need to change? Does this guy need to change? No, so it's plus 1. Does this guy have x? So what do I multiply this guy by? X. What is x times 1? X. Is everybody cool? Does everybody understand that the yellow is this? Great. Now do the same thing on the bottom with the blue. X minus 1 over x must be x, and that must be x minus 1. Is everybody cool with that? You can't say what It's the exact same thing, except there's a minus sign. Of course I went really fast. It's the exact same thing. It's kind of like walking. You move that right foot, and then you move the left foot at the exact same time. You don't walk like this. All right. So now, the yellow one is over the blue one, yes?
Yes.
What math is happening at that line between the two? Division. So isn't this x plus 1 over x divided by x minus 1 over x? Isn't it? Isn't it? And what does dividing do to the second fraction? It reciprocates it. And now what do you do when you are at multiplying? Oh, that's x squared. I forgot the x squared. Now what do you get to do? What do you get to do now? What do you do? You're about to do a quiz on this. What do you do when you multiply? Cancel. What's going? X? Can I do anything with that? I can't do anything with x squared minus 1? Isn't that x plus 1, x minus 1? What do you get to do there now? So what's left over?
X minus 1.
Where? Numerator or denominator?
So it's 1 over x.
Done. Now, the question becomes, when we go back to here, I lie, when we go back to here, the question becomes, when you guys see this, you stress out. Is there a need for that? No, because math is all basic little steps, right? If none of this was here, and I just gave you that, would you know what to do? 1 plus 1x, would you know what to do? Sure, you would get the common denominator and you would figure it out, right? If none of that were here, what would you do? You'd get the common denominator and figure it out, right? And then you have to apply your grade 3 fraction knowledge that fractions are division, which is then comes to your grade 11 fraction knowledge. When it's rational expressions, we multiply by the reciprocal and we factor everywhere we can. Is there any part of that that you don't know?
No.
No. So what is it that bothers you?
Just seeing the fraction.
Exactly. Right? And it's the same thing I say every time. If you have to run a marathon tomorrow, what matters? Each step or the fact you have to run 26 miles? If you can't take that first step, are you ever going to get to the 26th mile? No. But if you take that first step, what's next? A second step, and then a second step, and eventually you get to 26 miles. Same with doing push-ups. I'm going to do 100 push-ups today. Could I sit down right now and do 100 push-ups? Do you think I could lie on my belly right there and do 100 push-ups? Not in a million years. Look at these. They're wet noodles. But, do you think I could do 100 push-ups over the course of 80 minutes? Sure. You do 10, then you wait a little while. Same way you do when you go to the gym. If you're going to do 100 lift 100 bench presses, do you do it in sets, or do you lie down on your back and lift the weight 100 times? You do it in sets, which are steps. So what are you going to do here? Steps. It is 10:34. Your quiz is 6 multiple choice questions and 1 open-ended question. How much time do you feel you need? The rest of the block? The rest of the block? No, we'll quiz tomorrow. Quizzes don't count for marks. We will quiz tomorrow. You're going to work on page 132 and 133 while my good friend Josh is here to help us out. Actually, you're going to work on 132 to 135. And wait, when is that due? No, Monday. We are going to spend the rest of this block, tomorrow you're writing a quiz, and the rest of tomorrow getting this into our heads. Then you're going to have a 4-day weekend with which you may finish it. We'll do the quiz tomorrow. Because we have an extra grown-up here to help, let's get going on this, because apparently this is mind-blowing. Yo. You should take it to all your teachers.
Do I get it signed by you?
Yes, well, you get it signed by everybody.
Yeah. Do I take it down to the office at time? Or?
I would assume so.
Okay, just watch the videos and like when I get back, like do I do like for the assignment that we'll have, it'll probably be in the book, right?
Everything's in the book. You can either take your book with you or just...
Like, is it going to be any giant check and mark, or is it going to be...
Of course it's going to be any chai until it's marked.
No, like everything. Right?
Of course. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, some of you probably remember Josh from last year, if you were in my grade 10 class. If you do not, that's Josh. He knows tons about math. Please notice there are now 2 people here that you can ask. Okay? Don't be shy. So that quiz is now Wednesday. Sharp. What are you trying to say? Yes? Yoon, all your work done already? Brilliant! Hey! Dude, simplify it step by step. Dude, what is 9 minus minus 5? Right. What's 10? What's 10 minus? What's negative 10 minus 11? Yeah. Why do you have 14 extra? Okay, yeah. There's a new passageway to India. A new passage to India. Yeah, where's that? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's down in that. Yeah. That place that you did. I only go to Zika. Yeah, I like Zika. Zika's delicious. It's right over there in Mud Farm. I love that place. They opened up in Chilliwack. I was so happy when they closed. But it's tough to run. It's tough to have an Indian restaurant in Chilliwack. It's the best Indian restaurant in Chilliwack. The best Indian restaurant in Chilliwack. But I can't remember what it's called. No. It is the best. Oh, now I can't remember what it's called. I eat there all the time. Yeah, it's not good Indian food. No, it's probably pretty crappy Indian food. Chandahar Hut. That's what it's called. In Chilliwack. It's the best. The best. Yes. I mean, you guys could probably, your mom and grandmas could probably cook that. But if you got to get restaurant Indian food, you should go to Chilliwack, go to Chandahar Hut. Chandahar Hut. But don't get the super spicy, because it'll make you cry. Ketchup. I have a friend that thinks ketchup is too spicy. His wife likes spicy food. So you're stressed about the test score, but you want to skip the review? That's what you just said. That is evidenced by right now. There's 30 other desks in the place. Yeah. Okay. After we've done this in 3 days, then maybe I'll bring restrictions back to the park. Because even though you guys know how to do this, for whatever reason, as soon as you have to put two concepts together,
I mean, at least Max and Sarav look like are doing a better job of faking it than you. Oh,
Mr. Myers, how dare you? I've already written 5 minus 9 is 4.
I did question 2 and I even factored all of this.
Okay, but this has to be minus 6, right? You factored out a negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah.
Well, why would they, if you're bad,
What?
like why?
No, your parents would take you, but they would say you're failing the class. You're choosing to fail the class. Essentially, that is what you guys are doing. When you guys leave here for 3 weeks to go to India in a semester class, you're going to fail. In math or science or chem. I mean, think about it. Could you do this without the videos? So what would happen if you missed it? I mean, there's only 90 classes. You go for 2.5 weeks, that's 15 classes. Almost 12.5 classes, right? You're going to miss 15 classes. So 15 out of 90 is 1/6 of the class, right? So you're getting what, 60%? 70%, say? I don't know what you get. Let's say you're getting 70%. And you're going to go away for 1/6 of the class, right? Right now, when you're here every single day, you're understanding 0.7 of the class, right? 70%. You're going to go away and you're going to miss 1/6 of the class, right? And you're going to see what's going to happen to your grade when it comes final time. Right? So, I never say no, but I warn you, you're probably going to fail this class. Now, what is more important? Passing pre-calc 11 or taking a trip to India? No. Oh my God, how can you say that? That's crazy. Why would you ever say that? You have 3 more semesters to get pre-calc 11, right? You got next semester and then 2 semesters in grade 12, right? Your parents taking you back to India next semester? No. They taking you back to India in grade 12? No. So, which is the thing that you have 1 chance at? Trip to India. What is the thing you have 3 chances at? Pre-calc 11. What's more important? What? I can't know, though, Grant. How could I know? What did I plan for today? Did we do it? Why? No, because you guys are crybabies.
And we wanted to do it.
Right? I can say I want to do the next 50 pages in the next 3 weeks. But how can I see the future? Right? I'd buy the lottery ticket and I would be long since gone.
We all would find out that we're not incompatible and confused.
Where would I be? I'd be surfing Ecuador.
Fish taco. Because I love fish tacos. No, your group. Fish tacos are delicious. Well, that's crazy talk. Of course you go. You just have to be aware that you're probably going to fail. What? A week? Probably not. 2.5? You're missing a week, and I'm not trying to put you down. You have a better grade than that. You're doing better in this class. You can afford to miss it. Right? If I was getting 100% and I took off the last 2 weeks of the course, right? The last 10 classes, right? That's a 10% of the class, right? If I got 0 on all of that, my 100% would be 90, right? Yeah, who does all that work? If you cared, you would, but you're not going to, because when you get back, you have 4 classes to catch up on. Plus, you have the current stuff in those classes.
That was like me. I was getting all the tips. It was like my last year's school, and there was a teacher.
Of course. What would you do?
I got 95%.
Yeah. My son was in French immersion till last week. We took him out. Right? So they said, well, it's time to take French. Because he's a great English. So he walked into French 8. Bonjour, madame. Spoke to the teacher. Half the class, you get out of here. And the counselor said, we're just going to give it an 8 for French 8. Which he's still going to do. Right? He's not going to need to worry until French 11, maybe 12. Right? Because he's had 2.5 years of intense French immersion. Maybe. It depends. Right? How long did we work on quadratics? Long time, right? How long did we work on factoring? Like 4 or 5 classes.
Wait, we have 2 units left.
You have all of rational expressions to go. Trig is huge in grade 11. Finance is not huge. Finance is, yeah, it's all calculated. The graphic calculator is actually everything for you. Or you have to fill in a formula. You do. Yeah, you do. Depends on what you're doing. If you do physics, you want to graphic Ask Josh. He's an engineer. You need a graphic calculator at university, Josh?
If you're doing electrical engineering, you know how to program. You need to be able to program your way through a test. They don't allow it.
What did I do? When did I do the graphic? No, but when did I do the graphic calculus? After I taught you how to do everything in quadratics and numbers, right? And then I did the graphic calculus. Why? No. Because you need it. You don't need it. It just does work for you. It's kind of like, can you build a house with a hammer and nails? Yes. But would you bring power tools? Yes. What if you're in a place without power tools? Then you gotta know how to build a house. Is this not hint? No. I don't, you know, it's not. Nothing is there. that all of you people exhibit the exact same behaviors as yourself. I actually know junkies who handle not having heroin better than you people handle not having heroin. Which is a little misconception because when I get people who are going to be keeping the economy derealized, and I am very concerned by it. Which is also why I like because there, kids still have Thanks for being here. I heard you. Somebody asked you something over there, so it was good. Thanks, man. Have good days. She's got an appointment. I know.
Why'd you call me at 10 p.m.? What am I supposed to do? Look for promotion.
See you.